Hello friends, it's Tom Day, and today we're going to be looking at the solo leaderboards for Wizards and Witch Doctors on patch 2.4.1. This is still the PTR, but this should give us a glimpse into what the beginning of Season 6 is going to look like. I should point out that basically every single wizard on the leaderboards is some sort of Archon build, because it's really, really strong. So we're going to be looking at this wizard that cleared a Greater Rift 102. They cleared the Rift with Firebirds and Endless Walk sets, and they've opted for the Furnace in the Cube. You'll also notice that in the key stats, they had both Fire and Arcane skill damage. This was split between the Bracers and the Amulet. This wizard cleared a Greater Rift 94. You'll see that they're using basically the exact same build and items with Firebirds and Endless Walk. They've opted for Aether Walker in the Cube, and they've changed the rune on Teleport to Calamity, but otherwise it's the exact same build. And lastly, we have a wizard that cleared a Greater Rift 92 using Veer's Amazing Arcana. Although the build doesn't use Firebirds, it's more or less identical to the previous builds. They do change the rune of Archon to Combustion, and they focus only on fire skill damage. And now let's move on to Witch Doctors. Much like the Wizard leaderboards, the Witch Doctor leaderboards rely on one skill more or less, and that's the Gargantuan. So this first Witch Doctor cleared a Greater Rift of 95 using the Helltooth set. You'll see that their key stats, they rely on crit damage, crit chance, area damage, cold skill damage, and of course the big daddy himself, Gargantuan. They do also use the Endless Walk set. I'd like to note that almost all of the builds that use a similar setup, they're identical in terms of skills, in terms of runes, in terms of gems, in terms of items, across the board. I'll only be showing one other Gargantuan variant. We had to dig a little bit deeper down their leaderboards to find a build that wasn't almost identical to the previous one. This one locks in at clearing a Greater Rift 86. You can see that they're using Fire Bats along with the Bracers coils of the first Spider. However, they still rely mostly on Gargantuan damage to actually kill stuff. This is evident by their key stats where they buff up cold skill damage and Gargantuan damage. But at least it's not the exact same build. And like in the previous videos, I'd like to point out that these guys have a ton of Paragon points, so that's a lot of extra stats. So if you're not clearing the same Greater Rift within a couple of weeks of Season 6, don't be discouraged. Just give it time, friends, give it time. And so that's going to wrap up all of the solo leaderboards for all of the classes. I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos, and I'll see you soon for some more Season 6 excitement.